that moment of like, I'm going to be a customer for life. I'm going to take this stuff forever. It's unbelievable how well it works. And TJ comes over to the house and he said, we're just hanging out, sipping coffee. And he looks at the jar of collagen. He says, "You take that stuff?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah." And just like I told you, Jerry, I'm like, this stuff works so good. I'm bouncing back at the gym. I'm running my miles. I feel great. And he just looks at me and says, "Well, let's start a company." And TJ's got that entrepreneurial spirit. At that point, I was a hired gun contractor working on marketing programs for Converse shoes. I was doing a lot of stuff in the footwear space. And I was in kind of a transition phase where I had the time and energy to think about that. So I sat there with him sipping coffee and I'm like, sure. Well, what does it look like? And we both looked at each other, and at the exact same time, again, this is one of those things you'll never forget. We say, we got to do something cool for charity. And I just started laughing. And I'm like, oh man, well, I know the charity. It's got to be Glen's charity.
Right.
And Glen's call sign in the Navy was Bub. So in a 10-minute spitball session, we had the name of the company, we had our mission, what we wanted to do. And we said, well, what does do something cool for charity look like? And we said, well, what does everyone else do? 1% of net profits, 2% of net profits. Well, that's cool. Let's do 10% of everything we do. Just right off the top, 10%. It seemed like the most audacious thing to go for. And we're like, hell yeah.
Yeah, which and you're probably going to, I'm assuming what the story that's coming, because that is no way to start a business.
It is no way to start a business.
Yeah, that's you got to go make the money first, then give it away. You don't give it away before you make it.
We torched ourselves.
Yeah.
It was
I bet you did.
It was hearts over minds.
Yeah. From a business perspective, I always say, we all have to be somewhat of a rapacious capitalist in order to make money to give it away. You have to figure out how to maximize your profit so that you have that money to give away, because you can't give away the money to pay bills. You have to have that. So I think that's it's the noblest of intentions, but that profit motive 100% has to be there. And if you're doing that from the beginning at 10% of gross, is that what you're telling me, right? Not net?
Yeah. It was not net. It was gross.
So to anybody listening, he's giving away, if he sells something for $10, he's giving away $1. If he sells something for $10 and he makes $1, he's giving away 10 cents. So you're giving away $1 on everything you sold.
It was brutal.
Or 10%, I should say.
And so we did it. So that first year we did, $640,000 in total sales. And the first part we did it like cut the check. And we get to we gave $47,000 away, and we had no money in the bank account. And I remember talking to Tom from the foundation, amongst others. And Tom's like, I'm in finance, Sean, and that's just not going to work for you. And I'm sitting here again, hearts over minds. I'm like, no, this is totally
noblest of intentions, right?
Oh yeah. I'm like, we're building, we're gaining momentum. Like no one knew who we were when we launched. And now look, we did hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and we had to assess. And so we end up hiring a CPA. They come in, they look at us and like, you guys are crazy. You're going to run yourself out of business. The numbers don't work. You can't buy the product to have inventory at the interest rate you're borrowing to buy the product and then give 10% on top of that away. You're never going to pay the money back. And, your PO finance company is going to end up owning your brand. I can see the path, even with an increase in sales velocity. And we ran the numbers around and we're like, we absolutely cannot do this.
Yeah. You can't sell your way out of that one. You got to fix the model.
You got to fix the model.
Yeah.
So we fixed the model. A couple months back, 6 months ago, we're switching to profits, 10% of profits. It's still a giant nut. I mean, we've given over $80,000 away this year. In 2019. And it's you look at $80,000 and I'm like, wow, all right. That's real.
Yeah.
That's a tangible, real number. And we could barely afford to do it because we keep having to reinvest in inventory and product. And then, you need to get the word out. And we don't lead with the, hey, we give 10% to charity as you should buy Bubs because we give 10% to charity. Because quite frankly, I don't think that that's the driver on people buying. They're going to buy quality and they're going to buy the brand. And kind of going back to when we started this, again, I'm a marketing guy, right?
Sure.
I live in the world of spending other people's money. But when it came to Glen's legacy, when we decided we were going to do it, I said, well, we have to put the absolute best in quality collagen on the market. We're not just going to go to market with, some low grade dog food. We got to get the absolute cream of the crop. And that was the whole adventure, was sourcing that and figuring that out, because we said, hey, we can get a customer to buy once and they'll never come back if we don't have a good product.
Sure. Right.
If we have the best product, they're going to come back again and again and again, because we're going to deliver on our promise to that customer. And that was built into the foundation of anything that we do. We want it to be absolute, a top shelf experience.